Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode on the brand new Royal Enfield Himalayan Scram 411. As you know, I've had this bike for a couple of weeks now thanks to MOTO Motorcycles to give you my in-depth review of it. So today in this video I will tell you what I actually think about it, the pros, the cons, and if it is a worthy scrambler to buy in 2022. But before we get started, if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on the next one. There's also a link down in the description below if you want to watch my first impressions review of this bike straight from when I picked it up from MOTO Motorcycles. Well, now let's get started by talking about the Scram 411 performance. The single-cylinder engine puts out just over 24 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 27 Nm of torque at 4,250. It's actually excellent for town riding, good enough to keep up with traffic on most A roads or freeways, and it's just about doable on the highway. With a top speed of 80 miles an hour, you can't really expect too much out of this engine performance-wise. For most of us riding below the speed limit, it shouldn't be a problem at all. I think what really holds it back a ton is its weight. 185 kilograms dry or just about 200 kilos wet for a bike of this class is way too much. Weight distribution though is excellent, so it feels agile on the go, even more so than the standard Himalayan thanks to the 19-inch front wheel instead of the 21. This actually makes a massive difference on the road, and one I personally appreciated. Bearing in mind its weight-to-power ratio, you'd think the Scram wouldn't feel that much different from a 125 bike. The reality is a lot different. There's plenty of low-down power to get you off the line at traffic lights, enough mid-range for relaxed cruising, I'd say up to about 60 miles an hour, and then enough top-end power to just barely see the national speed limit on the Speedo. So overtaking is a lot easier than you think. The 5-speed gearbox is smooth and the gear change is neutral and easy to find. The clutch lever is also light and predictable. So if you're new to riding, this is not an intimidating bike to ride at all. The seat height is only 795mm, so it's at pretty much everyone's reach. Unless you're well over 6 foot, then it might just be too small for you. Now let's talk about tackling some off-road or green lanes here in the UK. As you can see here, this is me showing off my off-road abilities. Just kidding. This is actually me trying to hang on and not wreck this bike at a nearby green lane. As you can see, even for me as a non-off-road rider, the Scram gave me such confidence to be able to tackle that road. Now, the travel is shorter than the standard Himalayan, so don't expect it to excel off-road as much as its sibling. The Scram is a more road-focused bike, and for that it's perfect in its own way. There's good enough ground clearance and sharper steering, so this means that the Scram turns easily and predictably. Although the suspension feels a little soft and bouncy, the faster you go over bumps, the more it feels loose and does not respond too well to bumps. The rear shock has preload adjustability, but that's about it. Brakes are also taken from the standard Himalayan with the 300mm front disc and a 240mm rear disc. ABS is standard, but you can't disable it. Braking power is good enough for the road. It feels a little spongy at the front and it lacks of the sharpness you might be used to if you come from bigger bikes, but they do the job just fine. The starting price is only £4,599, so there's a lot to forgive and forget here. If you ask me, you get so much for your money. Even the Tripper navigation system, which is so easy to use with the dedicated app. So if you're in the market for an everyday scrambler on a budget, I wouldn't hesitate and just get one. Sure, there's no rev counter, so you have to ride by feel, and soon enough you'll forget about the numbers because you'll be keeping up with traffic, and you know what? Have enough power for a cheeky overtake. And so there you have it, guys. I think this just about wraps it up for me on the Scram 411. Let me know what you think about this review and this bike in the comments below. What is your favorite color combo as well, and if you're thinking of buying one. Like always, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.